Square Enix is making the moves. I told you all recently that I thought Square Enix was about to start making some moves, and they are making moves. Just from a marketing standpoint, from a business standpoint, if you look at what they're doing, what they view as underperforming is different than what a lot of other studios view as underperforming, right? We've seen that in recent years with some of the things they've said in interviews. You know, they're never going to come out and say what their expectations or goals were for a game or a big title that came out, or even a studio in general, but we get the feeling, we've gotten the feeling since pre-COVID actually, that their Western releases have underperformed. And now we know that Square Enix has sold Crystal Dynamics and Eidos to Embracer Group for $300 million. So what that means, and yeah, if you're looking at it, you look at Square Enix, and I think last year they made just over $2.4 billion. It was somewhere in that ballpark. And they only make $300 million on selling these studios. Well, why would they do that? Well, from a business standpoint, it makes a lot of sense because as a fan, I'm excited. Yeah, there's some blockchain stuff in there, but more than that, they're going to be investing in like AI, the cloud, because I'm not a big cloud gamer, but I know the cloud gaming aspect of what they're doing so far is underperforming. They're going to really put more money into that, and they're going to get back to basics. I really feel like the gaming climate has changed. A lot of people are more open to JRPGs, role-playing games, things of that nature. And look at Final Fantasy XIV, the way it's blown up. It's one of, if not the biggest video game in the world right now. With so many players and so many people still waiting to play this game, they're going to put a lot of money into that. And Square Enix made $2.4 billion. They have the potential to double that number, believe it or not. They have the potential to double that number. Sometimes less is more, right? This is a scenario where less is more. They have a game as a service right now. They have a bunch of stuff in the pipeline for Final Fantasy, for other Square Enix things, Dragon Quest. You know, they've got all these in-house games they want to get to that they can't get to for the Tomb Raiders, for the Hitmans, for the Marvel games. And you all can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think weren't the Marvel games, was that Crystal Dynamics? I believe that was Crystal Dynamics. So actually, now I think of it, I'm almost certain it was Crystal Dynamics. So they're getting rid of that stuff. In essence, they have heard us, right? You know, all the Square Enix fans and all the gaming fans in general are like, why are you wasting time making these Marvel games? They're great. I mean, well, Avengers wasn't great, but from what I've heard of all of you all, Guardians of the Galaxy was great. You've got 16 waiting. You've got the rest of Final Fantasy VII Remake waiting. You've got all these great remasters and remakes you're trying to get to. You got Final Fantasy XIV sitting there. You got Dragon Quest stuff waiting. You've got all these other great titles waiting. Why are you releasing these other games? Forspoken's coming in October, right? They have all these delays. Too much on the plate. They unloaded so they can get to what's on their plate. This is nothing but a good thing. I think a lot of people are reading this the wrong way. From a business and marketing standpoint, this is going to free their hands to work on the things that need to be worked on right now. And I told you all in a previous video, I think we could be on the cusp of a second golden age for Square Enix. And I've also said in videos before, let's not get Square Enix and Squaresoft confused. Squaresoft made some of the greatest video games of all time. They were from 1994 until about 2002. They were on this wildfire, this blazing streak of hit after hit after hit after hit. It seemed like every 6 months they had a hit coming out for like 7 or 8 years, you know. And I think they have the potential to get back to that. But at this point, Square Enix is not Squaresoft. It looks like Square Enix is trying to unload some work for their staff, and so they can put more assets on other projects and get back to basics. Great stories, great gameplay. The music, I can take my least favorite Square Enix game and still find an amazing score. That's never been a problem. The art presentation, music, never been a problem. Stories and compelling characters have become a problem for the company. Gameplay in a lot of their games and stuff have become a bit of a problem for the company. Not overall. I think they're big releases. They're big releases they know they have to get right. I feel like the gameplay is at least solid, right? Pete, I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan. I did not play Kingdom Hearts 3, but a lot of you all that did play Kingdom Hearts 3 that are Kingdom Hearts fans said you didn't enjoy it as much as you thought you were going to. That's an argument that I'm not a part of, because I didn't play it, so I've got no dog in that fight. But that's just an example. A lot of people are reading this as they're just getting ready to go full NFT, full blockchain, because as human beings, what do? When we see something we don't like and we fear something, we just assume the sky is falling all the time. You just assume the sky is falling. You don't see the rest of the moving parts of what's going on. That's what we try to do here, break that down. So you all know my marketing and business background. The things they are doing trend in a very positive direction. With this, I'm more excited because I like Tomb Raider. I like the PS1 Tomb Raiders. I've always enjoyed Tomb Raider when I play it. It's not like I gotta line up and get it. I love Hitman. I love the Hitman games, but not so much since Square Enix has been involved with it, right? So I think Tomb Raider and Hitman can be great again. Maybe in someone else's hands. Sometimes it's just not a good fit. Sometimes you've got this great company like Square Enix that you know how creative this company can be. You know how good they can be. You know how god tier they can be. And then you know how amazing this marriage of this IP with this company could be. But sometimes it's just not a good fit. And I think that's what we run into with this. Those games weren't bad, but they weren't as good as they could have been. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. So with that being said, I do believe Square Enix is making a big push. They've got, they're going to streamline, get back to basics. Examples of is just straight up putting more assets and more time and more personnel into Final Fantasy XIV. There you go. Right there. That's a big part. And you got to get the wheels moving on these other projects that are stalled. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 undoubtedly stalled. Forspoken had to be delayed. And I think we're past the point of COVID excuses now. There can be a little bit of that. But why I say that is everybody is completely retrofitted for working from their home studio now. We are in the work from home era, and that's the next part of this. I think Square Enix is going to invest more money. Not every programmer, not every designer, but some of their team leads and some of their main designers, especially some of their, not like scenario people or anything like that, but a lot of their main core code writers and stuff like that for the games that are actually building the game. I think they're going to get those computers and rigs they're working on at their homes pimped out so that they can work from home. So they're going to invest a lot of money into that now, because I think they see the benefit of letting people work from the environment, their own environment, and checking in and having, clock in, clock out, having that kind of thing. So get ready, man. I think Square Enix knows what they're doing. They're getting on it, and it's all going in the proper direction. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed my take on that. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel, throw a like on the video, and throw a comment down there. Let me know what you all think about this news. I mean, it's a couple days old at this point, but I really wanted to gather my thoughts on it and really put it out there and present it in a way that has some professional polish on it, and let a few more details come out as well. So anyway, y'all have a great day. Be safe, be good to each other, keep rocking. I will see you all in the next one.